All right, what's up? What's up, everybody? I'll give a few people a few more minutes to join in. Going live out here in Europe with you guys today. Trying to get this money in the stock market. It's been a crazy ride today. If any of you guys trade stocks, then you guys know what I'm talking about. Hope you guys are doing good. Let's see. All right. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Give me 1 second. How's everybody doing today? Share my screen with you guys. Give me 1 second. All right. So first things first, before you guys can even travel international, you guys got to get a passport, right? So that should be on everyone's to-do list. I'm gonna send you guys this link in the chat. So I'm gonna be sending you guys a lot of links today, everything that I end up going over, so you guys have access to it. So it's real easy to get a passport. You guys can literally go to your nearest Walmart and get your pictures taken. They have like a few funny rules, like you have to have like a dark colored t-shirt, and it has to be like a white background, simple stuff. Here you go, how to submit a good photo. All you have to do is fill out the form. So yeah, it has to look something like this, or no black clothing. So like a brown type of t-shirt, something like that. It could look like this for kids. So they have all these rules. So make sure you guys go through, see what the rules are for the photos. You have to fill out and download a form. There's different costs for the passport depending on your age and depending on if it's your first time getting your passport. There's a passport book in the card. I just have the passport book. That's, the actual book that people can stamp in. The passport card is a little different. And it's good for, it's not good for everywhere. So look more into that if that's what you're trying to get. But it's going to be $130 for the application fee, and then $35 for the acceptance fee. So you're looking at $165 for your passport. If you're looking to renew your passport, it's a $130 application fee for that book. So since you guys that, you guys can go kind of play around on the travel.state.gov website, and you guys can kind of look at some more stuff on there. We'll kind of go over a few things on this website a little bit later about international travel. So before we get into that, I told you guys I have a story, and I kind of want to lead off with the story, just so you guys can hear the experience that I had this time. So like I said, if any of you guys have been following me, keep up with me, you guys know I've been all over the world and back many times, and I've been traveling a lot pretty much since 2007 is kind of when I started my traveling journey. And so this time, I'm in Europe right now, and I had some hiccups in the road. So what happened was I left from Las Vegas and I was going to Frankfurt, Germany. I usually like to start in Germany. If you guys look at a map in Europe, you guys can see there's 9 different countries that touch Germany. I like the western part of Germany a little bit better than I like the eastern part of Germany. That's just my personal preference. If you guys care to know why, you guys can ask, and I'll get into it, at the end of the class. If any of you guys care to know, I mean, it's not anything crazy, but it's just my personal preference is the western part of Europe. Pretty much, if you were to draw a line like down Czech Republic and just look at all the countries to the left of Czech Republic, those are the countries that I enjoy the most traveling to. But anyway, so I like to start in Germany and work my way around, just because there's a lot of good public transportation, the train system, the buses. It's a lot easier to get around. And then I like this side of Europe anyway. So it's just convenient for me to fly into Germany and then start my journey from there. So this go around out here, like I was saying, I was going from Las Vegas to Germany, and I went from my route was supposed to be from Las Vegas to Seattle, from Seattle to Frankfurt, Germany, right? So when I get to the airport in Las Vegas, they tell me at the counter, they're like, did you hear about what's going on in Germany right now? And mind you, I have email and text updates. So if you guys, anytime you guys book like international flights, always check the option to, you know, how they'll ask you, how do you want to be notified? I always check email and text. I check both on a regular. If you check one or the other more than the other, then, you know, select what's best for you. But I'm like, no, like what? I'm like, what's going on in Germany? Because there, you know, there's usually never nothing going on in Germany. And I didn't receive, I'm literally at the airport in Las Vegas, getting ready to head to Seattle to get on my flight from Seattle to Germany. And they're like, they were like, yeah, there's an issue with the airlines. They're going on strike. So they're not allowing anyone to fly into Frankfurt. And they're telling me this in Las Vegas, right? And literally my flight from Las Vegas to Seattle is about to take off in an hour, because I usually show up to the airport when it's time to board. I'm one of those kind of people. So I'm like, well, what's the deal? And they're like, well, they didn't give us any guidance, because mind you, not only was my flight from Seattle to Frankfurt, it was a different airlines then. So I flew Alaska from Las Vegas to Seattle, and then my flight from Seattle to Frankfurt was a completely different airline. So they were like, yeah, they didn't give us any more guidance. They just said that, you know, there's some issues in Frankfurt. So they were like, we don't know what to tell you, right? So I'm like, well, damn, like, do I stay in Vegas and just cancel this flight and try to rebook or what? So I'm like, well, you know, fuck it. I'm already here. I might as well roll the dice and see what's up. I got people in Seattle, and worst case scenario, I guess if I got to kick it in Seattle for a few days, I'll just do what I have to do. So get on my flight, go to Seattle, get to Seattle, go to my where my gate was supposed to be. And they were like, yeah, there's a strike going on at the airport right now. This airline can't fly into Frankfurt because that's where I was supposed to fly into. So they were like, we're going to reroute to some of the nearer airports. And there was like 3 different options of airports that they were flying into. And, you know, they were all about 3+ hours away from Frankfurt. And they were like smaller airports throughout, you know, Germany, you know, decent sized cities, but smaller airports. You know, it'd be like, for example, if you guys are familiar with Texas at all, like if you were flying into Dallas, it will fly you into like San Antonio or Abilene, like somewhere that's 3-4, like that's kind of like the only way I can kind of give you guys an example of it. So it wasn't my airport that I was going to. So I'm like, well, damn, my rental car was in Frankfurt and my plans were, you know, starting in Frankfurt. So now I'm like, damn, what do I do? And mind you, my flight is getting ready to take off. So I don't really have enough time to kind of figure out a game plan. So what they were going to do was, they were like, when you get to this airport, they were going to do like a bus shuttle to take people down. But it's chaos right now because it's happening to everyone. So I know it's going to be complete chaos getting there. And, you know, I didn't really want to mess up the plans that I had, because when I touch down in the country, I'm ready to go. That's just the way how I travel. So I'm like, all right, let me just get on this flight and I'll just figure it out while I'm in the air. So get on the flight. I go to an airport that's about 3.5 hours away. So luckily for me, it was in an airport that was closer to where I was trying to get to, not where I was trying to fly into, but where I was actually starting my journey from. So I was like, well, let me just cancel my rental car in Frankfurt and then try to get a rental car in the new area that I was going to go. So I wasn't going to get on the bus with everybody that was on my flight. And so, yeah, so that was my game plan. So I had Wi-Fi in air. I was able to cancel my my car reservation in Frankfurt. I was able to make a new one for where I was going, right? So boom, I'm on this long flight. I'm kicking back. I'm not thinking nothing of it. So fast forward, I land in the new spot, go to the car reservation, and they're like, we don't have anything for you in our system. I'm like, no. I'm like, here you go. I booked it, you know, about 12 hours ago, because it's a long flight. So I'm like, yeah, I booked this a long time ago. Show them my reservation. And he's like, oh, you didn't make it for the airport. You made it for our location that's about 25 minutes away. So he was like, it'd be probably like about a 30 € taxi ride. So 30 euros, about $35, $40 with the conversion, right? So I'm like, all right, great. So whatever. So get in the car or get in the taxi, go to the car rental place, go to that car rental place, and they're looking at me weird when I'm walking in. And mind you, it's a very small location. So when you're overseas and you go to like the car rental, so you guys know in the States how there'll be like a Hertz or this or that, just kind of spread out throughout the city, not necessarily just at the airport. When you travel international, it's a little bit different. It might be like attached to a hotel, or it might be in like a small building where they just have, not that many cars, right? And so I get in there and they're looking at me kind of weird. And the looks that they had was, I already knew something was about to be wrong, meaning probably they didn't have any cars or something was up just from the looks that they were giving me. So get up to the counter. I'm like, hey, I have a reservation. Show them my reservation. She said, we don't have any cars at this location. She was like, we don't have anyone scheduled to drop any cars off, and we don't have any reservations for anybody else for the rest of the day. Like we're getting ready to get out of here. Mind you, it's the middle of the day too. It's like 2 p.m. So they're like, yeah, we're getting ready to close shop and get up out of here, right? So I just spent 30 euro on this taxi ride to get here. And so they were like, let us see your reservation. So this time, I have the reservation. I made it correctly. I did everything right. There was a number. I'm at the correct location finally, all that. And they're like, yeah, it's everything we see it, but it's just not in our system. So they were like, let us call our manager. So I'm waiting 20 minutes. Now I'm just kind of getting irritated, but what can I really do? If they don't have any cars, they don't have any cars. I can't be like, yeah, I'll just book, give me a different booking, or I'll just book on the spot. So their manager comes down and he looks at everything and he's trying to do everything he can. And he was like, I'm sorry, sir. Like, there's no cars here at this location. I see that you have, your booking, but it was through a third party, right? So this is kind of why I'm telling you guys a story. This is the important part right here. So he was like, yeah, call the third party that you booked it through and see if they can maybe get you, something for a different location. So I'm like, damn, I'm like, can you guys just call me a taxi and I'll make a reservation for back at the airport. So the reason why I didn't take a reservation at the airport was because he said it was going to take about 3 to 4 hours if I were to book it online on the spot for it to go through and for them to be able to get me a car. And mind you, they're flustered at the airport because it's a small airport and all these big international flights got rerouted here. So imagine on a day they deal with 1,000 people per day. Now they have 10,000 to 15,000 people that they have to deal with. So the airport is just complete chaos, right? So everyone's just kind of flustered. So I'm just trying to keep my cool. I'm just like, whatever, I got to do what I got to do. Like, there's no cars here. I got to go back to the airport. It is what it is. So they give me a taxi back to the airport, another 30-year gone. So I haven't even done nothing yet. And I'm already out of pocket, 70, 80 bucks. Like, damn, like, I'm like, man, I hope this trip don't, hope we ain't trying to start a good international trip off on the wrong foot like this. I'm already at the wrong airport. I'm already, just trying to get a car just so I can hit the streets and get to what I need to do. So boom. So I make my reservation. So this time I go through the, I think it was Hertz. Yeah, it was Hertz. So I go through the Hertz website and I book my reservation through the Hertz website. That way I don't want there to be no error, right? So get back to the airport, the guy sees me and he's like, what happened? And I tell him, and he's like, man, he was like, let me get my manager. So they get the manager, they hook me up with a car. And so that wasn't even it. So they were like, we're going to get you a car. We got cars. So they see my reservation, they type it in, everything goes through. They can't find the keys for the car for my reservation, right? I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So the manager is like, now he's getting really upset because he's like, this car like says it's supposed to be here. So something is wrong. That means someone has the wrong car and that just messes everything up. He can't give me a car because every other car is booked. And this specific car that I have was the last reservation that they have, and they don't have the keys for it. So he's like, just go sit on the side. He was like, I promise you, if I have to give you my car, you're going to have a car. So I sit on the side and this dude is running around everywhere. He goes like in the parking lot area, he's checking all the desks. They can't find the keys. So he finds some keys, but it wasn't for my reservation. So he tries to change it in the system. He did something wrong because they contacted me like 3 days later trying to get all the correct information. But anyways, long story short, got the car, got things going, and the trip has been great ever since, right? So I say all that to tell you guys this. I've never had issues booking a car through third-party websites ever. I've been every continent you guys can think of. I've been so many places, big countries, small countries, third world country, non-third world country, and I've never had issues with booking through third party, like, you know, Hotwire, booking.com, carrentals.com. Like, I've never had issues at all. This was the first time. And it kind of opened my eyes a little bit to, you know, these third party bookings. And it kind of makes me think like, man, is it worth it? Like, I don't want to let this one little hiccup kind of like discourage me from booking through third parties, but I want you guys to be cautious of these things, because what if they would have ran out of cars? Or what if I had to do, you know, a booking on the fly and have to pay extra money? Because I know some people, you know, budget their trip, you know, for a certain amount of money. So it's like, if I wasn't kind of, and when I remade my booking, I had to pay more than what my original booking was. It was like $500 more because it was that day versus when I originally booked it months ago. So needless to say, I want you guys to kind of be cautious of that. It's never happened to me before. I still think I'll use third parties. Like I said, I don't know if it was just because there was just so much chaos going on that day. It just had them kind of flustered. I'm not sure, but for it to not even be in their system was kind of weird. And I used carrentals.com. I use them all the time. Like I said, never had any issues before. This was the first time it's ever happened. But I just want you guys to kind of be, you know, cautious of that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do moving forward, a lot of these third-party websites, and then a lot of these, like the actual, like the Hertz or the Budget, whatever the car is, a lot of them will allow you to book without paying up front, and they'll allow you to pay once you get there. So what I'm going to do moving forward is if I can book through the actual website without having to pay, and then if I can book through like a third party without having to pay as well, I'm gonna do both, just for just kind of like a protection to make sure it's definitely in the system. Hopefully you guys understand what I mean by that. Hopefully, you know, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So what I'm gonna do, like I said, is I'll book through the third party, you know, as well, and then I'm gonna book through the actual website as well, as long as it's as long as I don't have to pay up front. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys and get what I'm saying. Let's see, I'm gonna start calling you Lemony. I've never booked with third parties for this reason. I've traveled a lot, and it's easier to book directly with the vendor unless it's travel. Yeah, for sure. Yep. Yeah, so like I said, I went to Honduras in October and they held $3K US for a security deposit because we didn't use their insurance. Yeah, it can be crazy. That's why you got to plan ahead and look when you go to certain countries. I've talked about this before on social media. When you guys get any type of rentals or any of that kind of stuff, always take video, especially when you're going to those countries in like South America, and then like a lot of those third world countries, they'll try to get you on stuff. So make sure you guys are taking video footage before and after, inside the vehicle, outside the vehicle. Check with your guys' credit cards to make sure you guys have that insurance. And just be careful with a lot of stuff. You know, I personally don't do any of the prepay for nothing. I like to just fill up myself. Like I said, that's going to be on you. But that's just something I want you guys to kind of be cautious about. Like I said, I've traveled thousands of times, and I always use third parties, and I've never ever had a bad experience or something like this happen. But it finally did happen, and it's going to adjust how I move forward doing my bookings. But lesson learned. So like I said, I want to share that with you guys so you guys can try to avoid that stuff, or maybe be prepared if it were to ever happen to you guys. But yeah. But I heard that videos and pictures can't be used in court now because you can edit the date of them. There's ways to get around that, have another person with you. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, if you have videos and pictures, it's not going to get to that extreme. Especially if you're in a different country, you can get the embassy involved and stuff like that. And then especially if you do it like the time of your trip, once you guys are out of the country and this is why it's good to always use your credit card, because if they try to do some phony stuff to your credit card, and once you're back in the States, they can try to do whatever they want to do. Your credit card will fight for you. That's why I always say, never use your debit card, never pay cash, always use your credit card. That way, if phony stuff happens, your credit card will do all the fighting for you. It will take away all the headache and stuff like that. LOL. Also, if anyone travels to South America, be careful where you park. They don't have signs, but will boot your car for parking for popular touristy streets and charge you $300. Absolutely. When you guys are going to different countries, even, countries like Europe that are, great, you guys have to just be cautious of a lot of stuff. They try to get people, you know, everywhere. So you have to be extra cautious when you do get like a rental car and you're, you know, doing anything. I personally try to avoid rental cars as much as possible. This trip specifically, I knew I was going to do a lot of driving, so I got a rental car. But I would say 8 out of 10 times when I'm traveling internationally, I don't do rental cars. I just hop on the train. I use public transportation for the simple fact that, you know, you kind of get embraced in the culture a lot more when you're taking the buses, when you're taking the trains, you get to see more. It kind of is more of a slow pace versus just being in the car. But like I said, that's everyone's preference. Just always be cautious and, you know, do extra measures that you guys can to protect yourself. And, you know, and like I said, just always use your credit card because your credit card company will do the fighting for you and you don't want to hassle or, you know, make it a big deal. So, all right. Anyway, so let's keep this thing rolling. Oh yeah, before I forget it, because I didn't put it in my notes, another thing that I would highly suggest for you guys before you guys leave and go out of country, always make sure you let your bank know that you're going, because if not, if you try to use your, you know, debit card or credit card, it will be probably put on hold. And also see what your bank charges for international fees, because avoid using the what are they called? I don't even the currency exchange that they have. Try to avoid those by all means necessary. Your best bet is to kind of have a good idea of the type of spending that you're going to be doing wherever you're at. And then as soon as you get in the airport, the first ATM you see while you're in the airport, hit that. One, it's going to be a lot safer because it's inside the airport. And then you don't have to worry about people trying to swindle you, you know, and do all this extra stuff. I just seen a video the other day of a guy that was in, I can't remember where he was at. It was somewhere, I don't know, but he had like one of them cameras recording, and he went to a currency exchange and they were like counting the money out, and they try to slide some money under the table and try to recount and do funny stuff. Not saying that that stuff will always happen, you guys, but you have to understand, you know, they know that a lot of people don't pay attention in certain countries and they'll try to get over on you. So, you know, when you're dealing anything with money, you want to kind of be 10 steps ahead. You know, you don't want to be no geek on the streets and just get hustled and swindled right when you get to a country. So your best bet is to use the airport ATMs, pull out, you know, the most that you can, or the, you know, whatever you think that you'll need for kind of spending, and use your cards as less as possible. You know, like for me, I'm always hitting like the grocery stores and things like that. I like to use my credit cards. You guys have to think, some countries and some places you go to, not every place will have credit card machines. A lot of places you'll have to pay with cash, a lot of like restaurants and things like that. So you kind of have to think about that kind of stuff. So that's why I say pull out as much money as you think you'll need comfortably to get you over. And then if you have left over, when you get back to the airport, then you can go ahead and exchange that currency, or you can wait till you get back to the States. There's currency exchanges at the airports in the United States as well. So land at the airport, hit the ATM, pull out as much as you think you'll need to hold you over for your trip. And then if you have left over, then when you get back to the airport, then you can go ahead and exchange that currency back for whatever you guys have. So easy enough. All right, let's keep this thing rolling. And if you guys have any questions along the way, you guys can just drop them in the chat, or if you guys just have like an experience you want to say, go ahead. So global entry is something that I highly recommend. It's for when you get back to America. It's pretty much like TSA and Clear, which I'm gonna get into in a minute as well. So it's your fast track when you get back into the United States. It's clearing customs. So if you guys have ever been on an international trip and you guys come back, you know, you got to go through customs to come back. Well, there's an area called global entry. It's usually the same area where like flight attendants and stuff go. They literally just scan and walk on through. So global entry has literally saved me hours before, because if you guys have been to those big airports, when you get back to the United States, you can be in there for 3, 4, 5 hours. And the way how less and less, you know, people are working these days, the same works for the airport security and stuff like that. So customs can get backed up, and it could, you know, it could cost you 2, 3 hours. So it does cost some money for it. Let me see if I'll go on here. I can't remember exactly the price, but I know it says it on here. But anyway, so yeah, so global entry is a U.S. Customs and Border Protection program that allows expedited clearance for pre-approved low-risk travelers upon arrival in the United States, members in the United States through automatic kiosks at select airports. So like I said, it's a fast way for you to get back in. It's definitely worth it. I have it because I travel international a lot. If you guys only travel maybe once or twice a year or every few years, then I probably wouldn't recommend it. I would say this is more for people who are, if you're traveling international about 2 to 5 times or more a year, then I definitely really highly recommend it. I think it's like maybe like $100 and something. So I can just do a quick Google check. Let's see. Yeah, it's like $100 for 5 years. Yep. It's like $100, something like that. So it's definitely worth it, especially if you guys are making a lot of international trips, and it's good for a long time. So maybe you might not travel international a lot this year, but maybe you guys, plan on doing it in a few years. I highly recommend to do it. If you guys have anything on your record, though, they will see it. They'll ask you about it and they'll question you about it. I had some stuff pop up. They pulled me to the side, even some stuff when I was in the military. Like, it's crazy. Like, they have access to your whole, everything. So if you got anything on your record, as long as it's something that you can explain, and it's not anything crazy, then you guys should be good to go. But definitely know that, they definitely going to be all up in your business, to say the least. How quick can you get it? I leave next Wednesday for, it wasn't a very long process. So I actually did it when I was at I filed for mine when I was at the airport. I got approved at the airport, and then it was like during the time when COVID was going on. So it was a little bit weird. Let's see what it's saying on here. Let me see if it gives like what their times are now. It doesn't take too long. Your interviews next week, took months to get an appointment. Yeah, I know, like I said, since COVID, everything has kind of been off. It used to be a pretty quick process. It used to be like 2 weeks. But like I said, since a lot of jobs, they even asked me if I was looking to do that as a job. They even, they're recruiting at the airports. That's how bad it is. So look into it. But I think, it's going to be at least probably a month or two before you can get it. Someone right now just said, their interviews next week took a month. But the interview is pretty simple. Like I said, they'll just check your record. If there's anything on your record, they're just going to ask you what it is. So here you go. Here's one that will, some disqualifiers on here. So here, let me send this to you guys in the link in the chat so you guys can go ahead and play around with it. Go ahead, check it out. Said definitely worth it. So that's one for you guys. Let's see. Okay, we'll do ASAP because I already know I'm going to Jamaica in July. Jamaica is really dope. And Mexico in October. Yep. 2 cool places. Check the airport you're flying back to. You call it enrollment. Yep. Yeah, you can, if they have availability, when you guys are coming back to the United States from wherever you're at, you can do your interview at the airport. You just have to check and make sure that airport you're flying back into is able to do the interview. And then once you do all that, they send you like a little card. I don't have mine on it. I just keep it in my wallet. It's kind of like a ID card pretty much. And then you just flash it when you go. They keep you in the system. It's easy. Clear. This is for when you guys are in the States. You have Clear and you have TSA PreCheck, right? I got both. I would just say go with TSA PreCheck. There's really not much of a difference between the two. TSA PreCheck, you only pay one time for 5 years. And then with Clear, you have to pay every year. Check your credit cards though, you guys. A lot of credit card companies will cover your Clear. So I think Amex, I forget what the other credit card is. Amex, you automatically will have Clear. And then a lot of the Chase Sapphire cards will give you TSA PreCheck. If any of you guys are military, you guys automatically get TSA PreCheck. You just put that in as your known you put your DOD number as your known traveler number, and it will go through. If you get global entry, yep, it does include TSA PreCheck. That's another thing. So that's just another benefit to getting the global entry. And then, hold on, I want to talk about that real quick. I had a screenshot somewhere that talked about, here we go. So the cost for TSA PreCheck, $78 for 5 years, clears $189 annually. One's ran by the government, one's ran by a private company, just another way for them to just make money off of us pretty much. They're pretty much the same. They're, you know, the availability for TSA pre-check is at a lot more airports. You see 200 versus 40. Like I said, it's you know, your preference, but you know, I would just say just go with Clear. And then if your credit card company that you use has if your credit card company offer those, then just go ahead and use whatever one your credit card company rocks with. So I'm gonna send this one to you guys. This is for Clear, so you guys can get more info on it. And then I'm gonna send you guys the one for pre-check as well. Hold on one second. If this would get out the way. There we go. Send this to you guys. Like I said, I got both. That's just because the credit cards I have give me both as a part of being a member of that credit card company. I have Amex and I have the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which we'll get into in a second. And then I also have Global Entry, which gives me TSA pre-check anyway. So I'm solid all the way around. They both kind of do the same thing though. TSA pre-check, you don't have to take off your shoes. You don't have to take off, you know, take out your laptops, all that good stuff. You just put your bag and your stuff on through and then you're good to go. You skip the line. Sometimes it might be backed up. That would be the only good time when Clear would come in handy. So since I have both, if I see TSA pre-check is back up, I'll walk on over to Clear. The Clear people will walk me straight up to the front. And then you can also add like friends and family members. So that's a pretty cool thing about Clear, but that's really about it. I don't know if you guys are ever, if any of you guys know about STEP, let me know. I know a lot of people don't know about this. STEP is the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. It's a free service to allow U.S. citizens and nationals traveling and living abroad to enroll their trip with the nearest U.S. embassy. I highly, highly recommend you guys create an account and do this. It's free. It's not going to cost you any money. If anything were to ever happen to you, your family, if they were to report it to like an embassy or something, they can go in. This would just help the process be a lot easier. They'll know what hotel or Airbnb or hostel you're staying at. It's just an extra precaution for you to make sure if something were to ever happen to you, people can report it and then they'll be able to get a hold of you, or whether if it's, you know, a job or whoever is looking for you, put it in there. You know, I know a lot of people don't like people being in their business, but this one is really for your safety. A lot of people don't know about this one. I highly recommend do it. It's free. It's not going to cost you anything. And all you're going to do is you just put in your travel information. So like I said, that way, if anything were ever happen, people can know like what your plans were at, where you were at, how you got in, all that good stuff. And then also it will allow you to know if you're in a certain area, it would give you like information on what's going on in that area. Like I said, here's some of the benefits right down here. Receive important information from the embassy about safety conditions in your destination country, helping you make informed decisions about your travel plans. Help the U.S. Embassy contact you in an emergency, whether natural disaster, civil unrest, or family emergency, especially that civil unrest. I've been in 2 countries now where they've had their revolution. So that was pretty crazy. Help family and friends get in touch with you in an emergency. So it's free. All you do is you just, you know, put in your travel plans, put where you're going to be at, your hotel, your Airbnb, whatever. Simple and easy. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, so this one, this travel.state.gov is the same one that you guys can get your passport on, but let me send you guys a link for this screen. So this one's going to be for travel advisory. So if you guys are going somewhere, like, hold on, someone just said they're going to Jamaica and Mexico. So let's see if there's anything popping off in Jamaica right now, and we'll see. Let's see. No, there we go. So right now it's a level 3, reconsider travel. Why? Reconsider travel to Jamaica due to crime. Some areas have increased risk. Read the entire travel advisory. So that person that said that they're going to Jamaica, go through this, know what's going on, know the areas that you're not supposed to be in. Look, there's some level 4 areas. It should be a level 1. So level 4 means that there's some stuff going down, and a lot of people have report things going on. So this also will let you guys know the past, like if you need any vaccinations, if you're gonna, what type of currency restrictions there are, tourist visa, you know, you can't stay for over 90 days. what you need in your passport. Everywhere is going to look different. Everywhere is not going to look the same. So that's for Jamaica, for my person going to Jamaica. Check that out. Someone said they're going to Mexico. I don't know if you guys just seen those tourists in Mexico. Some stuff happened to them, talking about they drove down and then 2 people got, I don't know, the story's crazy. I didn't read the full details, but I'm sure there's more to that story than what the news was talking about. But know what's going on. We already know Sonola be popping off and it's crazy. So like I said, go through this stuff, check out places that you're going or think about going, and see where, you know, what's going on in them areas, what type of issues are going on. There's all type of stuff. Australia, what's going on? Level 1, okay, nothing. Let's see what we see on here. Level 4, Afghanistan, do not travel. Burma, don't travel. Level 2, Albania. So go through, you can put in, like I said, whatever country you're thinking about going, it will give you all the information you need to know for that country. Obviously, we know stuff be popping off in Afghan. Let's see what they're talking about. Don't travel. It'll tell you why. It'll tell you, you know, if you need any type of vaccinations, what type you need, you know, currency restrictions for entry or exit. If you need a visa, all that good stuff, you know, and then a lot of health, some laws and things to know. The embassies and stuff like that. So like I said, good to know this stuff before you guys are going. Even if you think it's a place where you won't need to know, like Jamaica, for instance. I didn't even know that was going down in Jamaica right now. Obviously, it's not in the in like a lot of the main touristy areas. It's looking like it's up. I'm not too sure what part of Jamaica this area is, but it was looking like it was up more north, I guess, is what it seemed like. I haven't been to that side. I've only been down in this area down here. So, but like I said, good information to know. Check it out. And let's see what's next for you guys. So yeah, we went through that already. Check this out. The points guide, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. I'm not an affiliate or nothing like that. If I find good information, then I just want to share it with you guys. So this guy, he goes over all of the credit cards for points and miles, travel, whatever you guys are into. So I know some people are into different things. Some people want to do the cruises. Some people like the hotels or the hostels and the airline deals. And then he breaks down, you know, the best overall and general type of credit cards or travel or airlines, all that good stuff. So give this website a check out. I've known about this guy for a while, and he's really, really good. It kind of led me to get my Chase Sapphire Reserve, and I'm glad I did, because I just really had no clue about credit cards and who offered what and stuff like that. And I stumbled on his, it used to just be a blog a long time ago, and then it turned into a website. So I've been rocking with him since it was just a blog. So if anyone ever knows this guy or who he is, tell him, you know, big shout out from me, because it definitely helped me make a better decision on trying to find, you know, a credit card that worked for me. Like I said, everyone's situation is going to be different. You know, some of you guys travel more business, so you might want the best ones that are business. So I personally have I have a bunch of different credit cards. I have, you know, probably all of them, but I use one all the time. I have the Chase Sapphire Reserve. It's a lot more expensive. It's like, you know, a $600 fee, but I get that all back because I get like 300 in flight credits. They pay for my TSA pre-check. I get free meals at airport lounges, and trust me, I utilize them things like crazy. So I get back more than 600, plus I get a bunch of free flights. They have good deals all the time. So that's the one personally that I like. And then if I'm doing like big purchases and stuff like that, I use my Amex. It's just more of a protection. Amex, you know, they don't even, you do some type of fraud on Amex and you say, you know, you didn't do it, they're going to get you that money back and they ain't even going to argue with it. So same thing kind of with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. One thing that I've noticed, you know, one thing I used to do was I would use a bunch of different credit cards, and then it's like, it was kind of wasting my points. So I just like to stick with one, and then I just rack up all my rewards on that. So I have a lot of, I have a crazy amount of points with my Chase Sapphire Reserve. I know a lot of people that, you know, they do like, they sell on Amazon and they, you know, use it for their businesses to get their merchandise or whatever. So if you're spending money a lot on stuff, and I will say this, be smart with your credit cards, you guys. You know, if you use your credit card and if you can't pay off that full amount literally in that same exact moment, I would just say don't even use your credit card. You know, don't save it, I guess, for emergency or whatever. But even then, don't even use it. You know, one of the best things that someone told me is if you can't afford to pay for it in cash, and you can't afford it, whatever it is. So I don't want you guys to get into like credit card debt. Don't use your credit card to take your dream vacation if you can't really truly afford it. You know, be smart with your credit card. You guys seen what the credit card debt is out of this world. So only use a credit card if you guys are responsible with your funds and your finances. And if you can pay it back right then. That's just my advice, right? You're going to do what you want to do regardless. That's just my advice from you. So you guys don't, you know, get in no crazy credit card debt trying to travel or whatever the case may be. So yeah, give the points guide, give that website a check out so you guys can see what credit card or points and miles will work best for you. Or if you guys have like a specific airline that you like to use the most, or if you have a certain type of hotel that you like to use the most, get the credit card, you know, for those areas so you guys can double dip and rack up. Let's see. All right, this is going to be, hold on, we'll get to this in a second. We'll get to that in a second. I think we're on to the travel side of things. What is this one? Oh yeah, that's that. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So let's get on to the travel. So do you guys have any questions on any of that stuff before I get into how I do my flights and stuff like that? All that makes sense? Good information? Thumbs up, something? All right. So I have a lot of different methods on how I do my flights. If any of you guys have ever used Travel Guides, I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with it, and a lot of you have hit me up using it because it saved you a lot of money. So we'll just kind of run through it real quick for flight. So let's say, for instance, you know, you're flying out of LAX. You guys, if one of you guys want to see, matter of fact, just one of you guys tell me where you guys are from, and then I'll just use an airport from the first person, whoever says what airport you travel out of a lot. EWR. All right. Newark. All right. So let's say you want to find a deal somewhere out of Newark or wherever you guys are from. And if you guys want to follow along, go ahead, do that. If I go too fast, let me know. If you guys need me to back up, just kind of let me know. So usually starting out, what I'll do is whatever airport I want to fly out of, or if I just want to see what kind of deals are out of some airports, I'll come onto Google Flights. If you guys just go to Google and go into flights, Google Flights, it will bring you guys to this, and just go to flights. So put in your airport, and then what we want to do is, let's see, let me filter out. You click on the date, and then you put on flexible dates. So this is what I kind of do in advance, right? If I'm just thinking about going somewhere, I don't really have my dates yet. I'm just like, I want to take a trip sometime. You know, you can filter it out by month if you want to. We'll put a 2-week-long vacation somewhere. We're flexible. So we're just looking for somewhere cheap. So right away, within the next 6 months, a 2-week trip, you can kind of see if we want to travel within the United States, what it's going to cost us. It's looking like the cheapest would be to Miami, but we're doing an international class, so we ain't worried about stateside. Right now, we're just worried about these international flights. So let's go over to Europe, and we can see within this time frame to London would be $461. So this is what I do. So we'll click on this, and it will give me like a good idea of the time frame of when flights are cheap around this time. So it's looking like April 23rd to May 9th, right? So that gives me an idea, okay, around April to May is around the cheapest time if I want to go. So now what I'll do is I'll do the one-way method. So I'll click on one-way, and then now I'll let it load up, and then I want to look and see if I can find something cheaper around this time. So I see, okay, so can one of you guys do the math for me? Or let's see if I can do it, because I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to try to see if I can get it even cheaper than what they're talking about on here. So it said $415 if we were to do round trip. So let's do one way and see if we can get it cheaper than $415, or if that is the cheapest way. So I see right now some 265s in March. Let's see what May is looking like. All right, so it's looking like March, this 26th or the 27th is the cheapest if we were to do a one-way from Newark to London, right? So let's see, the 26th or the 27th of April. So then let's flip this around, 26th to the 27th of April. And let's see if we see anything cheaper than that. So it's about 26th and the 27th of March, my bad. So it doesn't look like anything in between. So sometimes, like I was looking at this one earlier, what was it? There was a different one that I was doing. So sometimes it would be cheaper, sometimes it won't be cheaper. So sometimes you'll be able to save about $100 to $200 depending on where you're going by doing this one-way method. Because what happens is when you do the round trip, it's only taking with whatever this airline, whoever they partner with, is only going to take that airline for you. Versus if you were to do the one-way, you can pick and choose different airlines and different times, and sometimes it will be a little bit cheaper. So sometimes it won't, sometimes it will. That's why you got to play around with it and then go with whatever one is cheaper. So when you guys do the one-way method, keep this in mind. When you get to wherever you're going, you have to get your bags, because let's say you have, if it's not like this one has a layover. So if you were to do this one and you were to do the one-way method because it was cheaper, when you land wherever you're going, remember, you have to go get your bags. It's not going to be on to the next flight. Well, unless it's a direct flight, then obviously you have to pick up your bags anyway. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. And then also, if the airline charges for bags, then you would have to pay that separately and stuff like that. So the cost could add up depending on the type of airline you're with, if they charge for luggage or not. I personally just travel with a backpack. I don't travel with the carry-on, so I don't ever have to worry about paying for bags. I literally just travel. I've been in Europe for over a month and I have just a backpack. I have, a couple pair of pants, some shirts, some socks, couple hoodies, and another extra pair of shoes that all fit in the bag for me. It works for me. I know everyone can't do that. But when I get to where I'm going, I like to just explore. I don't care about, when I was younger, I cared about, hitting the clubs, hitting the streets, having, a whole bunch of different outfits, bringing a big bag. I don't like having to wait. Sometimes they might lose your bag. You run a lot of risk with a lot of other things. And for me, it was like, what was more important? Getting to where I was going and being able to get off the plane and just hit the city right away, not have to worry about carrying a bunch of luggage around. If you have layovers, if something were to happen, it's like now you have to worry about a lot more. So me personally, I just do the backpack way. I like to go places that have, hold on, let me mute. All right. I like to just get off and go and enjoy wherever I'm at. So there's been a lot of people I've challenged lately. There was a girl who hit me up. She was a female traveler. She had a lot of questions. She was scared. And she's on her 7th trip now. And her first 3 trips, she brought suitcases. I explained to her the benefits of just traveling by a backpack. Now she said she can never go back to ever traveling with a suitcase again. I get it. People might need certain liquids and creams. Wherever you guys are going, they have markets, they have lotion, they have toothbrush, toothpaste, whatever it is that you need, wherever you guys are going, they have everything, they're going to have everything you need. So the less you have when you travel, the less stress you have on yourself. You don't have to worry about them losing your bag or any of that good stuff. And when you guys get to places, if you want to, bring back souvenir stuff, if it's something big enough to where it can't fit in your bag, you can mail stuff. Everywhere has postal service. It works just as easy. So a bag keeps you away from the fees, especially if you guys travel with the budget airlines throughout the States. A backpack, they don't charge you for that stuff. So you literally, like I said, get the cheap airline, have your backpack, you're good to go. I want to try to find examples so you guys can see. Let's see if we can do a different location. So anyways, this is a way, I don't want to get off track. So this is a way for you to kind of see when the cheapest time, if, you were just trying to get out to Europe and you just kind of want to get a good idea of, what prices would be. And then we could also, if we just did the week time frame, let's go down to South America from the same airport. and kind of get a good idea of what prices would be. So, we see you got some, 374s up here, Colombia, some 352s, not bad. Peru, great, amazing place, 330, and that's going to be round trip. We got round trip in there. So, 115 each way. That's not bad. You can't beat that for an international trip. And then, hotels and stuff like that are going to be cheap out there. So wherever you guys wanted to go, this is just a good way to kind of start and get a good idea of what prices would be if you wanted to go to a certain place. If you wanted to go to Dubai, $779, not bad. So just a good, quick, easy way just to kind of, shop around and see. And then if you just wanted to do one way, you can do one way as well. And then you can kind of play around. You can kind of play around with the dates and try to see if you can, get something even cheaper. So let's see. Let's do Asia, see what we could get. So Tokyo. So let's see when the cheapest time would be to go to Tokyo. Does the one-way method make sense to you guys? Hopefully that makes sense. It's real simple, real easy. I've saved, I can't even calculate how much I've even saved. So let's see. And then, like I said, you get the thing I like about this is it shows you the whole month. So you can kind of get a good idea of what prices are at that time. So it's like $596 seems to be the cheapest time going out there, which is September 3rd. And then to figure out when the cheapest time is coming back, you just flip it around. And then you kind of look, if September 3rd is the cheapest time getting out there, then you want to kind of look and see around what would be the cheapest time coming back. Like I said, sometimes it's going to be more, sometimes it's going to be less. Look at one ways and then also look at round trips just to give yourself a better idea of what it would cost at that time. Yep. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much what I do. Like I said, to get cheap flights, Google has hotels and all that good stuff. For, like I said, there's Hotwire is a really good one when it comes to getting cheap hotels kind of on the fly. They have what's called I think it's called like the deal of the day or something like that. And they don't show you, they just say, hey, it's going to be between these 3 hotels. There's an extension that you guys can get. Let me see where it's at. It's this one right here. It's called Travel Arrow. So if any of you guys have ever used Hotwire or any of those other websites that have like those great deals and they don't show you, this extension will show you guys what the hotel will be. So you have a better idea if that's the hotel that you want to stay at or not. Like I said, it's free to add this extension. They, have good deals and all that. Let me send it to you guys in the chat. It won't cost you nothing. It's just like all those other extensions, finding the best deals. It'll help you guys out. I like to use Booking is probably my main go-to if I'm booking like a hotel or a hostel or anything like that. It's just my preference. It's not necessarily the best out there or the cheapest or anything like that. If I'm not doing the Airbnb thing, I look for my hotels and my hostels on here. Central London. It's really easy to navigate. You can create an account. Even creating an account, it sometimes will give you even better deals. And creating an account is free. I'm just putting some random dates on here just to kind of show you how, if you guys have never used it, how it works. And then you can go through, you can navigate it. All these ads popping up. Hold on. You can navigate it. You can change the currency. I don't know what, probably because I'm in Europe, it's in euro right now. You can change the currency down on the bottom, I believe. Somewhere on here. You can change the currency. Oh, here we go. You can change it to whatever currency you guys want to see. And then, like I said, you can adjust if you want to just, do this price range. You can put whatever price range you want. Any specific filters that you're looking for, if you want a place that has breakfast included, if you want a place that has shuttles to and from, if you care about how many stars and ratings that it has, if you want a gym in there, a place that, has a spa, Any place that has free cancellation, I love the free cancellation. What else? Like I said, you can navigate if you want hostels, the entire, even some apartments, like apartments that you can find on Airbnb are on here now too. They just added that about, I want to say maybe about a year, maybe a couple, probably like a couple years ago. It wasn't always on here, but it is now. If you want to be near like a specific landmark, if you want to be downtown, if you want to have parking, if you want the hotels that have restaurants inside of them, pet friendly, whatever the case may be. Like I said, whatever, everyone's looking for something different. If you want to be in a specific area, you can filter it that way. And it's worked pretty good. Like I said, remember what I told you guys about booking through those third parties though. So always keep that in mind. Like I said, I've never had any issues. You never have any issues until you do, right? So this is, like I said, you can look at hotels, you can look at hostels. Let's look at some hostels. If you guys have never experienced hostels, I highly recommend it. Don't watch the movie Hostel though before you guys go, because then it's going to discourage you. But I promise, well, I can't promise you, but that kind of stuff doesn't happen. At least it's never happened to me, and I don't hope it happens to anyone. And I haven't seen any stories of it happening to people. But as you guys can see, a place like London is very expensive. And if you do the hostel thing, it can really save you a lot of money. And there's some really cool hostels out there. I've stayed in hostels that have pools. I've stayed in hostels that have their own like little nightclub. I've stayed in hostels that have tours, that have, you know, free breakfast included. I've stayed in some really, really cool hostels. Let's see this one. Let's see if we can find one that has a decent rating and decent price. So this one's at 7.5, and it's in what area? Let's see. And you guys seen the other hotels were going for like 1,500 plus. So they have, you know, if you're a female, they have female side onlys, they have mixed dormitories, they have family, they have some family rooms that you can do. They have actual like rooms that you can book out. I mean, they have a lot of different things. Let's see, this one's a mix. I like doing the mixed dormitories. So this one would be $261 for 4 nights. And you're in a mixed dormitory with 15 other beds. You usually get like your own locker. They have fresh linen for you. You see these lockers right here. Most of the time, they'll provide like a lock for you guys. I've stayed in probably, I don't know, 100 plus hostels, and I've never once had an issue with security, privacy, anyone messing with me. I mean, yeah, I know I'm a man, so it's a little bit different. I have a cousin. She likes to follow my steps with this travel stuff, and she stays in hostels everywhere she goes, and she loves it because she's able to save a lot of money. She's never had any issues. Our hostels share bathrooms and room. It depends on the hostels. Every hostel is different. Not, you know, every hostel, some will offer private bathrooms, some will have shared bathrooms, but as you see, like something like this one, it looks like, you know, obviously they'll have, you can use the bathroom area privately, but it's kind of like an open shower type of thing. And sometimes when they have these, it's not going to be where the rooms are. The rooms will be kind of in a separate area, and then they'll have the showers like down the hallway, and then they'll have like a men and a women's shower, so the men and the women's showers aren't mixed. So you might be in a mixed dormitory area where there's men and women, but then when you go use the bathroom, it's going to be a men's side only and a women's side only. And they offer a lot of cool stuff. They have, you know, laundry service. They have, you know, some of them have kitchens. A lot of people will leave stuff behind. I mean, it's a really, like, this one is only a 4-bed. So obviously, you know, a little bit more private when it comes to for the bedding. So if it was like you and a group of 4 friends, you guys would probably try to, you know, do that. Let's see if they have any female. This one is a female only. So it's a 6-bed. Only women can be in here. Like I said, you guys, I've never had any issues. It's not saying that, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, that's going to happen for everyone, but they're very safe, and you get to meet people from all over. And it's just such a dope experience. It's really fun because you're in this, you know, you're in this kind of weird type of room with all these strangers, but you have to think they're kind of in the same situation from you, and they're literally from all over the world. Most of the time, majority of the people speak English. So it's a good way to, if you are a solo traveler, and, you know, it's a good way to network. I still keep in contact with a lot of people that I've met in hostels. I've met some really cool people from all over the world. And I've actually traveled to countries where I met people. Like, for instance, I met someone in a hostel in Stockholm, Sweden, and they were from Malta. And so I went to Malta and visited this person in Malta, and they showed me all around. So you can really have some really dope experiences from, hostels. So let's click on this one and kind of see what the vibes are looking like. Looks like they got like a little kitchen area, the bathrooms, people just chilling, hanging out, and they'll have activities. They'll have, all type of stuff. They'll have bikes for you to be able to rent. You see this one has like a private room. Some of them have private rooms, kind of like a chill area where they'll have like books, guitar, video games, a whole kitchen area. Like I said, you guys can see it's just people really from all over the world traveling. They'll have breakfast. It's really dope, man. If you guys that washer and dryer, at least experience. I've stayed in hostels in the United States. I've stayed in a hostel in Miami, and I've stayed in a hostel in New Orleans. Both was a great time. I was the only American in those hostels in the States, and had a good time in both of them. So like I said, look, you can stay at this hostel for $261. And as you guys seen, let's look at, non-hostels and get a good idea of prices. Let's take off the hostels. Do I still have it checked? Yep. So let's take off hostels, and then you can kind of see what rooms are going for kind of in the same area. 1,700, 1,300, 1,300, 1,000, 1,200. Same time frame. I didn't change the time. London is a very expensive city. So this is a way for you to save $1,000. And like I said, how long are you really going to be in the room, right? If you're traveling to a different country and you're staying in the hotel, you're kind of really wasting the trip. You should really only be in the room to sleep, shower, and kind of get on. You want to experience the city as much as you can. And it's just another good way to save some money. So you can buy that flight we seen from Newark. I forget, what was it, like $416 and then $200. You just spent $600 on flight and hotel to get to London and be able to experience London for a good weekend. So, you figure you probably put another $500 to $1,000 aside for activities, food, transportation. $1,500, you just had an international trip and got to explore a dope city. And then it's like, London is kind of close to a few other places. You can go, maybe spend the day in Belgium, or you can go spend the day in France, or you can, go to the Netherlands or go to Luxembourg and, see another city. So kind of keep that stuff in mind. But like I said, if you have like hotel rewards, credit card points, there are some other great websites when it comes to finding deals, but, I'm telling you guys, hostels are really the way. Flights once you get to Europe are super affordable. You just remind me of, I'm gonna show you guys something else that Avery just reminded me of. So let's keep this thing rolling. Let's see, what else did I want to show you guys really quick? Here goes check this blog out. It's a blog on travel hacking. There's a bunch of different sites that they have on here, saving on, all different type of, tricks and tips and all that good stuff. So whenever you guys have time, go through this blog. It's up to date. It's pretty dope. There's a lot of great information on there. Let's see, travel insurance. This is also something that I recommend for you guys to have, especially if you guys don't take my advice to doing the backpack thing. If you guys like to, bring a suitcase for whatever reason, I know a lot of people that have had issues, especially certain countries you get into, you can almost just guarantee that bag is going to come up missing. So get some travel insurance. This kind of goes through a lot of different type of insurances. So this is another thing, you guys, check all your guys' credit card benefits that you guys have. There's so many benefits that people have with their credit cards that they currently have, and they don't even know what's even on there. No, go through, just sit down. I have like a spreadsheet where I'll just go to the benefits. I'll just copy and paste, and I'll just paste it into like a spreadsheet, and I'll just go through and see. You just never know like what you'll have or what your credit card offers. A lot of people don't even take advantage of most of the stuff that their credit cards that they currently have offer them. So go through that. Check out the insurance. I travel so much, I don't typically get travel insurance because, like I said, I just bring my backpack. Everything is with me. There's really no need for me to have travel insurance. I'm covered medically when I travel all over, so I don't have to worry about that. And then I have my credit cards that I have, they insure me for like rental cars, they insure me for hotels. I put everything on credit card. That way, I don't argue with no one. I'm not about to fight and debate. You know, when you guys are in other countries, don't sit and argue with these folks. Don't sit and debate because you're not going to win. So I'll just be like, yeah, fine, do whatever you need to do. When you get on that plane and you're in the air, you have that peace of mind that, hey, when I touch down, call my credit card. Hey, I had some issues with this. This is not me. This was fraud. They tried to do that. I'm telling you guys, it happens a lot. It will happen. Don't fight and argue with these companies in different countries, you guys. Make sure you pay what you need to pay. If you did something, if they're trying to say this or that, don't sit and argue because you don't want to get in trouble or held up in these other countries because it will just lead to something else. Use your credit card, take advantage of it. When you get back, say, hey, now they're going to have to, your credit card is going to be the dog for you and they're going to go do all the fighting for you. So you don't want to do all that. One other thing that I love about being in Europe is Ryanair.com. I was almost going to take a flight coming up here pretty soon. Let me change this to English. This is probably like one of the best things. When I used to live in Europe, I would ask people all the time, have you been to this place? Have you been to this place? Just like in America, Europeans don't really travel that much as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are those Europeans that travel, but just like a lot of Americans haven't even left outside of their city and state, the same applies in Europe. There's so many people that have never even left their country and they're, so close to all these other places. I guess they feel like they'll get to it whenever they get to it. So you guys can, whatever country you guys go to. So we were just looking in London, so we'll keep it in the UK. And we'll do London, Stansted or Heathrow, whatever one, don't matter. We'll just put all. And then you can see, so from London, you can go to the airports that are highlighted. So let's say we wanted to go to, I don't know, I'm just going to put, let me see if I can find the furthest area away. Let's do Croatia. Okay, so we'll pick Croatia. Why that didn't. Oh, okay, and we'll do, let's see here. And then, so when you click on it, certain times it will only go. So from London, from whatever airport it is, I don't know which one yet, to this airport, they only leave on Tuesdays and Sundays, right? So we'll put this Tuesday, coming back this Sunday, and then we'll search. And then the whole backpack hack works out here as well. 47 bucks there, 47 bucks back. And that's expensive, you guys. That's expensive for Ryanair. So let's try another one. Let's try a different airport and see. So they don't really go to this one that often, not until it's looking like the springtime. Let's see what they're talking about for flights. 70, 100, still too expensive. And this is something that you could just do for, like I said, places you want to go, just to check out a new city. So they go to London a lot, or Portugal a lot. Let's do leave on a Saturday, come back on a Saturday. And this is last minute. Let's see what we got. I've taken Ryanair flights for like $10 round trip. Like 5 there and 5 back. And the taxes were more than the actual flight. The taxes cost more than the actual flight did. All right, these are all way too expensive. I'm just trying to find a cheap one. Let's see. Greece, Athens. Let's go out a little more to August. Oh yeah, they're tripping. So like I said, you just have to play around and find, a cheap one. Morocco, Marrakesh. Let's go. What month are we in? Let's do this. I'm just looking for a cheap one. 66. Still way too much. Someone said try Czech Republic. All right. So all you got to do is, like I said, just play around until you find one. Czech Republic, Prague. I know this is going to be dirt cheap. It's always cheap. And we're in, what are we in? March. So I'll even show something a little bit closer. Saturday. Still too much. So yeah, you just play around on it and find something. Like I said, let's see. I want to find a cheap one though. Italy is usually pretty cheap. Let's do Pisa. Pisa is actually really small. I didn't know Pisa was going to be that small when I went. It's like a really little town. All they really got there is the Leaning Tower, and that's really about it. So $30 there, $15. So April 27th to May would be a total of what? $50 for a round trip flight to go to Milan from London. I want to see what airport it's leaving out of. Select this one. Hold on. Select this one and this one. So from London Stansted to Milan, just take the regular $50, you know, go from London to Milan. Let's see how long of a flight, like a 2-hour flight for $50 round trip. So 25 each way, can't beat it. So like I said, things like that, all you do is just play around. This is what I used to do when I lived out here. I had every single holiday when I was in the military. I had every holiday that we had off mapped up, and I would just go find the cheapest flights that I could fly. And I'm like, all right, this is where I'm going. You know, this is where I'm going this weekend, or this is where I'm going next weekend. And like I said, some flights would be 10, 15, 20. I hardly ever spent, I think the most I probably ever spent on a flight was maybe $100 round trip, if that. And it was just because it was like last minute. And yeah, it was just last minute. But if you look at least a month or so in advance, look at this, 23 there. And then you just look and see whatever the cheapest one is back. And then $30 coming back, you know, from London to Barcelona. So can't beat it. And then I just bring my backpack and good to go. So another $50 trip. So yeah, Ryanair is for Europe only. It's like a cheap airline for Europe. And that's why I said, that's why I love coming out here and just bouncing around. You know, if you had 2 weeks, 3 weeks, for, you know, a month that you could, I would just highly recommend coming out here because you'll get so much more bang for your buck. So if you go to like places like, let me charge up my laptop. If you go to places like Asia and stuff like that, yeah, it's fun out there. They got a lot of cheap airlines out there. You'll be able to, you know, once you get to certain places, your money will stretch a lot further. That's if you were just going to want to stay like in that location. The thing, you know, about Europe is if you want to travel around and see a lot, you can do stuff like this. You can take that $400 flight out here, and then you're spending $50 to bounce around and see, you know, different cities. So imagine you came out here for 2 weeks, and let's say you spent 3 to 5 days, you know, exploring London, and then that leaves you with, you know, about what, 8, 9 days to explore other places. You could squeeze in about 2 or 3 more countries. That's if you want to take flights. Now, if you wanted to hop on the train, they have what's called they have a like a Eurorail pass. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. They have like an international, like a deal type of thing that you can get for the train system as well. And they have fast trains out here. They will get you to a lot of places quickly. It was EWR, I believe, was the origination airport for that. But let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Traveling with children, group travel in Europe. Travel passes. Saver Fair Europe. Let me see if this is it. Discover Europe's major cities for as little as 19. Travel to 16 European countries, most beautiful destinations, or start your train journey in another European country, and then head to Germany. So this is another reason why I like to start in Germany, because they have stuff like this for you to be able to get around to other places. So, and you've seen they had cheap fares. They have and then these are the places that you can go. Here, I'll send this to you guys in the chat. These are the countries that you can visit or start from. So you have a good amount of countries that you can see just through the train system out here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17 different countries that you'd be able to see throughout Europe just by train. And like I said, there's an actual, it's like a pass. I forget what it's called, but if you guys go on here and play around on it, you guys will be able to find it. It's like I can't think of the name, but it should be around here. Travel passes. Oh yeah, here we go. This is the one. The Interrail pass. Unlimited travel throughout Europe. It's a flat rate. You can go to 33 European countries. Let's see how much it is by Global Pass. So a pass for your country of choice would be 54 euros, so that you'd be able to travel throughout that country on that pass for 54 euros, which is like $60. Or you can do the global one. You could travel up to 33 countries for 194 euro. And this is just another good way for you guys to be able to see a bunch of countries. Like I said, once you get out here, you know, it's not as cheap as like some of those Asian countries, you know, where it's super dirt cheap. But if you guys imagine this, you get out here on the $400 flight, right? Or wherever you guys are from, however much it costs to get out here, start, and then, you know, hostel it around. If you guys are on a budget and you're trying to save, so it's like, that was London. You know, if I show you guys what hostels are like in Italy, it's probably gonna be like $20 for, you know, 3 or 4 nights. And they got some, you know, go through and read what all the conditions are and stuff like that, but you can't beat this stuff, you guys. Yeah, you can't beat it. So I sent it to you guys in the link so you guys can go through and check it out and see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to cover for you guys. Let's see. Yeah, make sure you guys always protect like your documents and stuff. If there's not a like safe wherever you guys are staying at, always keep your passport on you. You know, just for the safety of having it. Always make a copy of your passport just so you can have a copy of it in case you do lose your passport. Make sure you have like your passport number written down and stuff like that. Know what the customs and courtesies are to the countries that you guys are going. You know, nowhere in the world operates like America does. So do a quick research of what some of the customs and courtesies are. You know, it's different. It's a big world out there. A lot of people put respect on different things, how, you know, you greet people, things like that. Let's see what else. Language apps. I've been using Duolingo. It's a free app. It helps a lot. It's helped me a crazy amount. I've been on it for a little over a year consistently. And I've been using it, you know, as I've been traveling. It's been great. There's a lot of languages on there. It's you know, just learn some of the basics. You know, think about the things that you'll be asking. Like if you go out to eat, you're going to want to, you know, ask for the check, learn how to ask for the check, please and thank you. Where is, you know, such and such. So figure out how to say, you know, probably like at least 10 phrases, I would say, and it will benefit you guys way more. People might laugh if you butcher the language, but they'll appreciate you even trying. And people will be more accepting of you and try to help you out and get you to whatever it is that you're trying to do. Let's see, make sure your passport has at least 6+ months before expiration of the time that you're leaving, not at the time that you're booking your trip. Make sure your passport has enough time to wherever you're going, that it doesn't expire. We already talked about the health and the safety. Just check all, warnings and things like that before you book your trip. Even as your time is going on, make sure you're constantly checking to make sure nothing changes, nothing's going on. Let's see. Yeah, that's kind of really, about it. It's fun, you guys. Like I said, traveling is very fun. It's eye-opening. I do a lot of solo traveling. It's just a lot easier that way. I know being a male, it's a little bit easier to travel solo. It's a lot harder. Being a woman, you have to worry about a lot more, but it definitely is possible. I've thought about doing a class on that, but it's kind of weird since I'm not a female to do that. But, just the travel experience I've had, I've helped a lot of female travelers out that wanted to travel solo. And, they told me the advice was, spot on and great for them. So if any females out there, if you guys do have any questions, I know I'm not a woman, but just from the travel experience I have, I think I have maybe a lot of good insight or, some tips and things like that just to help you out. Stay safe, you guys. Like I said, when you guys are in these other countries, don't go with that, oh, I'm an American type attitude and this and that. Just embrace the culture where you guys are going. Just look to have a good time. Don't take everything as a you might get some looks and things like that. I'm a Black American in Europe. I'm kind of tall, so I get a lot of looks. Most of the time, it's not, we might perceive it as dirty looks in the States, but I know it's more of a kind of like, damn, what's this dude doing out here type of thing. So you might get some weird looks and things like that. But I promise you, at the end of the day, it's not what you guys think it is or what it can be. Just kind of be respectful, when you guys are going. It's kind of like going really anywhere, you just kind of go look to have a good time, and that's kind of the the energy that you put out where you guys go. That's the energy that you'll receive when you get there. Trying to think if I have any tips. Yeah, try as much as you guys can when you guys do get to these different countries. Try, the fruits, the vegetables, a lot of the food and stuff. The quality of food is a lot different in a lot of different countries, a lot fresher, a lot healthier. So try as much as you can. Stay away from, the McDonald's and the Starbucks, because they're literally in every country. So stay away from the stuff that you can have in the United States. Like, I know so many people like to do that. They'll go to, these countries and then they'll eat McDonald's and they'll go get Starbucks. Like, they have local coffee spots. They have local, hamburger places. Try as much local stuff as you can. Even if it's something that you would never try, just try it. Get out of your comfort zone a little bit. It's going to give you those experiences. It's going to give you those memories. And just embrace it. Just embrace it as much as you can. I've been invited to so many people's homes. I've stayed the night in people's homes. I've had surgeries in different countries. From getting hurt. I've been hospitalized in countries from getting hurt. So everything you guys can almost think of happening to you, I've had it happen. I've had a lot of experiences, ups and downs, and I wouldn't really change any of it. And none of it has discouraged me from, wanting to travel even more. So get out there and really experience the world. It's a big place out there. There's a lot to see. There's a lot to do everywhere you go. There's so much history, out there in all these countries throughout the world. So, yeah, take advantage, because like I said, we don't know how long we have. I could die tomorrow and, that's that, right? So we don't know when our time is. So, get out there and explore as much as you can before, it's too late. So, let's see, female solo travel would be cool. Yeah, maybe I'll put something together, or maybe I'll bring on another female traveler that I know, and me and that individual can kind of, host a class together for you guys if that's something you guys would be interested in. Any advice on specific travel dates to fly out? Tuesdays and Wednesdays are the cheapest dates to fly out. Oh yeah, another thing. I'm glad you brought that question up. Another important thing for you guys to look at is know the time difference when you guys are traveling to a different country, and know when you're actually landing. On your ticket, when you book a flight, it will say like +1. Let me go to a flight and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about really quick before I finish answering. So you guys, can you guys see this right here where it says, hold on, let me go back. You guys see right here where it says +1. So that means that you'll leave August 21st at 10:55 a.m. and you'll land at 2:10 p.m. August 22nd. So don't book your hotel or wherever you're staying for August 21st, because you're not going to be there until the next day. Keep that in mind when you guys are traveling. And then if you can, try to book flights landing around this time. Most places you can't check in your hotel until about 3 o'clock. So wherever you book for your hotel reservation, whether it be a hotel, Airbnb, hostel, whatever the case may be, see what time check-in is available, and then try to book your flight as, you know, let's say check-in is at 3. If you land at 2, you figure that's enough time for you to go through customs. If you have a bag, go pick up your bag. And then, you know, if you need to take a taxi, a train, wherever the case may be, it gives you enough time to be able to get to the hotel and check in. Because if you get there at 5 in the morning, it's going to be a whole lot harder, you know, for you to find things that are going to be open yet. And then there might be, you know, the public transportation system may be different. And then you have a long time that you'll have to wait before you can check in. And then give yourself some time with the time adjustment, because you will have crazy jet lag. The further you go into the time difference, the crazier it's going to be. What I like to do is, so like for instance, if I were to be taking this 10:55 a.m. flight, I would probably stay up all night. And then when I get on this flight, I would probably fall asleep and try to sleep as much as I can on the flight. And then that way, by the time we land, I should just be waking up, and I would kind of already give myself that little bit of advantage. If you're up, if you go to sleep regular, get on your flight at 10 in the morning, you're probably not going to fall asleep until the time you usually fall asleep. And then that's going to be about the time you're going to be landing, and that's going to be a lot harder for you to adjust. It usually takes about 3 to 7 days to adjust to the new time zone that you're on. So keep that in mind. I would highly recommend, don't plan anything like your first and second day. So the day you land, so if you land on a Tuesday, I would give yourself that Tuesday and Wednesday to kind of give yourself some time to adjust before you start making any plans like activities and things like that. Just kind of give yourself time to get there, and then just kind of explore. Something that I do is I explore the area that I'm in. So wherever I'm staying at, whether it be a hotel, hostel, Airbnb, I'll walk like a mile in each direction. So I'll just literally come out of my hotel, I'll go left, and I'll just walk for about a mile, and then I'll come back, and then I'll go the other way, and then I'll go straight, and I'll go back. That gives you a good idea of kind of what's around you. You know, if there's any restaurants that you might want to try, any like local coffee shop, a local market, a store you might want to go into, or if you need to go buy something, it gives you a good idea of kind of what's around in the area. It will get your feet wet already. And then that way you kind of have a good knowledge of your surrounding area, and you know what's kind of close by already. That's something I like to do. It works very well for me. And then it helps me kind of get adjusted. And then what you want to do is you want to try to go to sleep. Like if you were to land at 2 p.m., if you were to sleep on the flight, by the time you wake up, it should just be close to around the time you land. If you're like super sleepy by about 3, 4, 5 o'clock, do whatever you can in your power to not fall asleep. Because if, you know, try to go to sleep around the same time you normally would at home. That way, you know, that's also going to help you get adjusted as fast as you can. So hopefully that helps you guys out. What's been your favorite country you've been to, and why? I would probably say Sweden is probably my favorite country I've been to, for the simple fact that just everything about it, like the air quality was crazy insane. It was super clean. The people were super, super friendly. There was so much to see there, and I just had a really good time. It just felt very welcoming out there. And yeah, it's probably still Stockholm, Sweden. It's probably one of my favorite places to go to. And Sweden is like, I think, top 3 quality of life places to live, I believe. I actually just watched this. There's this YouTuber that I just found and followed, and he travels around to all these different countries, and he talks about a lot of stuff like that, quality of life. He's an Asian guy, and he talks about a lot about like racism in, United States and all these different countries. And what he does is he goes around to all these countries that are supposed to be top quality of life places. And he just did one where he was traveling around the Nordic countries. So that's Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Denmark. I don't know what his name is, but I can't even remember what he titled his video, something crazy. But if you guys ever find him on YouTube, it's a really, really good channel. He travels around to a lot of places. Check that out. But I really enjoyed Sweden every time I go. It's probably one of my favorite places. Everything about a Well Squad travel trip. Yeah, I think that would be dope. I don't know how we would get it in motion or where we would go, but I think that would be dope. An X-ray and pain meds were $20 and took a total of 30 minutes plus left with a physical copy of my scan with me in Honduras. Yeah, certain, some of these different countries is crazy on, the things that you can do and get versus America. It's definitely an interesting experience. Do you book travel insurance per trip, or do you have coverage for the one with the company? So my credit card pretty much has a blanket coverage for me with all my travel insurance stuff. So with like car rentals, hotel, all that good stuff, flights, if luggage or anything is damaged, my credit card, as long as I book the reservations with my credit card, it covers it for me. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, got it. What about days to return? Sundays, everybody's leaving on Sunday. Return days, pretty much the same. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are going to be your best bet. Trying to plan a trip to an island somewhere, maybe Hawaii. Yep, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, leaving and coming back, are going to be your best bet. Sundays and Mondays are peak times when people are leaving, and then Fridays, Thursdays, Fridays are peak times when people are going. Sometimes Saturdays, leaving or coming could be good, but like I said, it's all subject to change. Have you ever been to Amsterdam? Thinking about going in a few months? Oh yeah, I love Amsterdam. Amsterdam is probably Amsterdam is probably like one of my favorite cities, but it's not my favorite country, if that makes sense. But Amsterdam is, man, everything is legal in Amsterdam. The people are really dope. Everyone speaks English out there. So it almost doesn't even feel like you're in a different country sometimes, besides the fact that everything is legal. And then I've never seen so many houseboats, and I've never seen so many people riding bikes. Amsterdam is dope. I'm actually headed out there on Friday. I'm going to Amsterdam, and I'm going to Rotterdam as well. I'm gonna try to catch Rotterdam. They have a professional soccer team out there, so I'm trying to catch their game. The tickets are sold out, so I'm gonna try to see if I can find some scalpers outside the game. I've been to Amsterdam, but it was 20 years ago. Very cool. People were nice, interesting food. Also, a lot of people in restaurants from Suriname. Their food is good as well. Red light district, if that's your thing, and smoking that people love. Oh yeah, Amsterdam is like super chill. Like, man, Amsterdam is really like, it's probably the dopest city in the world. It's not the most unique, but I would say it's the dopest. I would say as far as uniqueness, Tokyo is probably the most unique city in the world. Amsterdam is probably the best city in the world. And then Sweden is the best country in the world. So if I had to rank them in that order, that's how I would rank them. Amsterdam is very welcoming to everybody. It doesn't matter, your race, whatever you're into. Amsterdam is so welcoming. It's expensive. It's very expensive for sure. If I could live anywhere, it would be Amsterdam, and I've contemplated possibly moving there. So that might be my goals for 2024. So we'll see if I make that happen. The food wasn't really that good in Amsterdam, to be honest. That's just my personal opinion. Amsterdam is not really known for their food. They're kind of known for everything else. If you guys are looking for great food places in Europe, hands down, Italy and Greece are going to be probably the top two. Portugal and Spain are easy 3 and 4. So if I had to go, and then Germany is definitely 5. So if I had to rank European food, I would say number 1 is Italy, number 2 is Greece, number 3 is Portugal, number 4 is Spain, and number 5 is Germany. But like I said, that's just my preference, and it depends on what you like. But you know, there's not too many like great food places in Europe. That's just my opinion. Some of the best food is down in South America, and that's just based on what I like. So it's all going to be based on whatever your preference is. Did you answer the question about travel insurance? Yes, I did. But what's your specific question on travel insurance? Any tip for Lisbon, Porto, Madrid, and Barcelona heading there in May? Oh man, you're about to have a blast. Porto is really dope. So Porto, they have a lot of tours explaining wine. A lot of wine kind of originated in Porto, Portugal, and that's on, if any of you guys are familiar, it's on like the southwest coast of Portugal. Do a lot of those tours where they explain about how they had to bring the wine down through the canals and stuff like that. Super amazing tour. A lot of fresh fish in Porto. You're going to have a great time there. A lot of amazing architects. Some of the best architects in the world came out of Porto. So really fun city. It's kind of small compared to like Lisbon and Madrid and Barcelona, but a really great time, some really great food. Lisbon is really dope. It's obviously it's a lot bigger. It's the biggest city in Portugal. It's not watered down with tourists, but there is a little bit more touristy stuff in Lisbon. You'll be able to have some great food, see a lot of great sights. Madrid is going to be kind of watered down with tourists a lot. And there's a lot of things out there for the tourists. So you'll kind of want to go to like the outskirts of Madrid to kind of get more of a more authentic Madrid feel. And then Barcelona is Barcelona. You know, a lot of stuff on the beach, a lot of great food. And then, like I said, it's a big city. You know, the downside to going to these big cities is it's going to be watered down a lot with touristy stuff. And that's just kind of with any big city you go to. So I would highly recommend kind of go around. If you really want to go to a great city when you're in Spain, go to Valencia. Valencia, Spain is amazing. It's probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours south of Barcelona, I would say, but it gives you the most authentic feel without having to go too far into Spain without getting it. But all 4 cities are amazing. You'll have a great time. I think, you know, just my personal preference, I think you'll have the best time in Porto. There's not going to be you'll probably be the only tourist out there really. And there's a lot of history in Porto that a lot of people don't know about. So definitely enjoy yourself out there. Ever been to a Real Madrid versus Barcelona game? No, I haven't. I actually had the opportunity to. A bunch of friends went, but I ended up being somewhere else. Fun fact, I was in Valencia, Spain when Spain won the World Cup in 2010. It was probably one of the craziest experiences I've ever had till this day. The World Cup was in Africa, but I just so happened to be in Spain at the time. You know, didn't really even know too much about soccer at the time, didn't even know what was going on. And then when they won, I had to extend my trip out there for an extra couple of days because they partied nonstop for like 5 straight days. Amazing time. I posted a video on my Twitter back in like 2018, 2019 of them throwing me up on the Spanish flag. Great time. Love that Lidl has bratwurst that remind me of getting a Brötchen and bratwurst on Volksmarks in Germany when I was younger. Oh yeah. Great food out here in Germany. Some good times hitting the events. I've already hit like 3 festivals out here in Germany since I've been here. So, you know, the cool thing about Germany that I love is that all these towns have events going on. Every weekend you can find something. You can drive to like a little town and it'll be like a wine fest or a food fest, or they look for any reason out here to party. They literally look for any little reason that they can. They don't care if it's raining. They don't care if it's snowing. Old people, young people, you'll see people out just enjoying life. And that's one of my favorite things about out here in Germany. Do you book travel insurance per trip or do you have coverage for the year? I just have coverage with my credit card. So anytime I book with my credit card, it covers me anytime. So I don't have to get like a year long or per trip type of thing. I want to plan a trip to Peru. Have you been there? Peru is amazing. Some amazing food, amazing people, and some history that's out of this world. gosh, you're gonna have a great time. You know, I've been wanting to get back to Peru. I want to take a few people with me when I go, so I'm just kind of waiting on them to, you know, get their situation organized. But Peru is great, amazing time, super, super nice people. Try as much local food as you can out there. I think I probably put on like 20 pounds the last time I was in Peru. But you can definitely work it all off with all the hikes that they have out there and the stuff that there's to see. I'm gonna try to hit some soccer games while I'm there too. Thanks. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. You know, try to do as much stuff as you can out there. If you guys have never looked Airbnb now, even if you don't like book an Airbnb, they have an activities thing. So I'm actually using the Airbnb activities portion for when I hit Rotterdam this weekend. So I'll let you guys know how that goes. But a lot of great stuff on there. If you guys just go to like TripAdvisor has a lot of stuff for, you know, the countries you guys are going to for activities, stuff like that. And then obviously whatever hotel you guys are staying at have a lot of great activities. But the best thing to do is when you guys get there, if you guys take like a taxi or go to somewhere local and ask like the locals, like, hey, what is something that I must do while I'm here? And you guys will get some amazing recommendations. Try to embrace yourself with as many locals as you can. Like, don't let the language barrier frighten you from wanting to talk to people, because once they hear you speak English and that you're American, they're going to want to talk to you as much as they can, or they're going to try to speak whatever English that they do know. They're going to want to talk to you and kind of embrace it, because you're kind of like, you guys have to understand, you know, some of these countries, a lot of people, you know, can't travel to America. So they only see stuff that's on TV and they're so curious. So if you go kind of embrace their culture and if you're interested in trying to do things, you'll probably gain a friend, and then someone that will lead you to, you know, restaurants that you must try, or, you know, a certain tour that you must try and things like that. So definitely embrace it. Don't let the language barrier stop you from anything out there, because the people are very, you know, wherever you go, people are going to be very welcoming. Like I said, especially if you come, you know, with that good energy and stuff like that. Appreciate all the good info. Time to hit the gym. Have a good rest of the day. Oh yeah. Yep. Go get a good workout in for sure. Thanks for all this information. Yep. No problem. All right. Do you guys have any other questions? Down this class ended up turning into a 2-hour class. I can talk travel all day. This is probably my favorite topic. I love traveling. It's easily one of my favorite things to do. I can literally talk travel all day. So you guys, like I said, if you guys ever have any questions on travel stuff, if you guys follow me on social media, you guys can always hit me up. But like I said, I always recommend you guys hit me up in the Well Squad, and I'll definitely get back to you guys. So before we wrap this up, do you guys have any last questions for me on anything travel, anything that I covered? You guys, this is the time to ask. I covered the Russia story, I think last year. That's a long one. I'll save that for the next, I'll save that for part 2. That was crazy. That was definitely my craziest. I've had 2 crazy travel experiences. One of them was in Jamaica, and as some of you guys know, the kidnap story when I got kidnapped in Russia, that was pretty crazy. But I'll get into that the next class, because this class already, like I said, 2 hours. It's 11 o'clock here, and I got to get up super early. So I'll definitely cover it for you guys next class, though, that I do on travel. You guys got any last questions for me before we wrap this up? All right, cool. Well, first and foremost, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in to class. Like I said, I know it was a little bit earlier, but like I said, I'm out here. I wanted to make sure I got on with you guys. Just travel, you guys. Seriously, it's the more you travel, the more you get exposed to different things, and the more you get to see you know, just how much the world has to offer. And it's so fun. Even with all the bad experiences I've had, there are gonna, like I told you guys at the start, how crazy it was just getting out here. There's gonna be, you know, shit's always gonna happen, right? You got to just roll with the punches and just make it as good as you can, because things are always going to happen. Things are always going to come up. Don't let that discourage you. Don't let that throw off your trip. And just try to see as many places as you can. That's, life is so much bigger than America. Life is so much bigger than whatever, city or state you're in. There's so much to see out there. And, there's so much history. There's so much good food. There's so many good people out there in the world. And, it's really never ending. It's never ending. Just, keep exploring, one place at a time. And hopefully you guys were able to take, a lot of tips and tricks from this class. Hopefully I can, save you guys some money on flights and stuff like that, so you guys can try to squeeze in, a few more trips. I'm all about, saving money on these trips so I can, get to the places I want to get to and enjoy those places, right? I try to spend the least amount on flights and hotels, so that way I can kind of splurge more on, embracing the culture wherever I'm going, as far as like, going out to eat, trying a lot of local stuff. I don't drink or anything anymore, but for whoever was going to Portugal, if you do drink, definitely try some of that wine out there. Some of the best wine in the world is out there in Portugal. And just like I said, embrace as much as you guys can, and enjoy the places that you guys go to. But yeah, that's really all I got for you guys. Like I said, it's already March. It's crazy because I feel like, just not long ago, we were wrapping up, 2022. 2023 is going to go just as fast. Time doesn't wait for anyone. It doesn't care, what we got going on. Everybody has something going on in life, right? Everybody has something going on. So you got to, handle business, take care of whatever needs to be taken care of. Make sure, you make yourself a priority. Take care of you, because if you don't take care of you, you can't handle all the BS that goes around. And trust me, the BS never stops. It doesn't matter how successful you are. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't care, your race, your gender, what you're into, whatever side you're on the political party. None of that shit matters. Life don't care about none of that stuff. So you guys got to make sure you take care of you first, so that way you guys can get out here, explore, enjoy life. Slow life down a little bit, enjoy the people that's in your life. The people that you care about, those are the things that you need to be focused on. Social media is just, a lot of BS out there, you guys, a lot of people, posting things, it's all perception. Don't compare. We don't do the comparison game. You just have to do what's best for you and yours, live the life that makes you happy. Do the things that make you happy, be around the people that make you happy, the simple stuff, right? It's all about the simple things, because when it's our time, and really none of that other stuff matters. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I know it's still about, 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock for most of you guys. So hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. And then I'm looking forward to have you guys next week on Wednesday. So I'll make sure it's another great class per usual. So I appreciate all of you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll get with you guys soon.